Welcome back to my channel. What if I told you that you could get professional web hosting for just 1 cent for your first month? Not $1, not $10, just 1 cent. I'm about to show you exactly how I set up InterServer hosting using my exclusive TECHFIN coupon code, and I'll walk you through everything, including the roadblocks I hit and how I solve them. By the end of this video, you'll see a complete setup process, WordPress installation, content migration, and real speed test results. Let's dive in. Now let me quickly show you how easy it is to get started with InterServer. You can register using your Gmail, Twitter, or even Facebook account. Just click on Sign Up. In my case, I've already registered, so I'm going to click on Login instead. Hey, simply enter your email and password. After that, InterServer adds an extra layer of security. They'll send you a one-time security code to your registered email. Just copy that code, paste it here, and you're inside your InterServer account. I like this step because it prevents unauthorized access and gives you a little more peace of mind compared to other hosts that only rely on a simple password. Now we're inside the InterServer dashboard. From here, you can manage everything: hosting, domain registrations, and more. I'm going to choose web hosting. You'll notice InterServer offers plenty of hosting options like ASP.NET hosting, cPanel hosting, and even reseller hosting. But the recommended plan here is the Web Hosting DirectAdmin plan. This one starts at just $2.50 per month, and after your first cycle it renews at $7 per month. And here's the best part. When I applied my exclusive coupon code TECHFIN, it dropped my first month's cost to just 1 cent. That's not a typo, literally 1 cent for your first month of professional hosting. While setting up my subdomain, I first tried to name it testinterserver.techfin2k.com. But InterServer immediately showed an error saying the host name contains a blocked keyword. This is part of their terms and conditions. You're not allowed to use their brand name or trademark directly in your subdomains. So I simply changed it to testinter.techfin2k.com, and it worked fine. A small detail, but important to know before you get started. Once you've selected your hosting plan, the next step is to accept the terms and conditions and click on Place Order. After this, you'll be asked to add your billing address. Just fill out the basic details: name, address, country, and so on. Once that's done, head over to your cart to pay the invoice amount. What I really like here is that InterServer gives you multiple payment options. You can pay using a credit card, PayPal, or even cryptocurrency. Yes, they actually support Coinbase and other cryptocurrencies, which is something you don't usually see with other hosting providers. Most only stick to credit cards or PayPal. So if you prefer paying with crypto, InterServer definitely has you covered. I added my credit card and tried to make the payment, but it actually got declined the first time because my card wasn't enabled for international transactions. After I enabled it, the payment went through successfully, and as you can see, I was charged only 1 cent for the first month, thanks to the TECHFIN coupon code. Now here's something important about domains. Unlike many other providers who give you a free domain for the first year, InterServer does not include a free domain, even if you purchase annual or biannual plans. If you want to transfer your domain here, it'll cost around $15. So my suggestion is to simply keep your domain with your existing registrar to save money, and then just update the name servers to point it to InterServer hosting. Once the payment is successful, the setup process usually takes around 30 seconds to 1 minute. After that, your hosting service gets activated automatically. As you can see, it first shows service is being activated, and then in just a moment, the web hosting service for testinter.techfin2k.com is fully active and ready to use. Now let's head over to the dashboard. Hey, you'll see the list of active services on your account. And as you can see, our web hosting for testinter.techfin2k.com is now active. Next, click on Control Panel. Unlike many other hosting providers that use cPanel, InterServer gives you the DirectAdmin control panel. Inside this panel, you'll find multiple options, from account management, email management, and support tools, all the way to the Softaculous app installer. And this is where the magic happens. Softaculous lets you install popular platforms like WordPress, Joomla, Divi, and many more with just a few clicks. Inside the Softaculous app installer, you'll notice there are a lot of platforms available. For this demo, I'm clicking on WordPress, but just to give you an idea of the differences. WordPress requires about 72 megabytes of space. Joomla takes around 92 megabytes, and Drupal is a bit heavier at 108 megabytes. So depending on your preference and project, you can install any of these directly from here. For most people, and for this test, I'll continue with WordPress since it's the most popular and user-friendly option. Now let's go ahead and install WordPress. I'll click on Install, and you can see that the destination URL and the latest WordPress version are auto-populated for me. Hey, you just need to provide a few details. A site name, a username, and a password for your WordPress admin login. If you scroll down to the Select Plugins options, you'll notice there are several plugins available to install by default. Depending on your requirement, you can either keep them enabled or disable them. For this test, I'm going to disable all plugins because I want to measure the pure speed of InterServer hosting without any extra load from plugins. After entering all the required details, simply click on the Install button. The WordPress installation process begins right away, and as you can see, it's super quick. In fact, the installation was completed in under 30 seconds, which is really impressive. That shows how fast and efficient InterServer hosting is when setting up WordPress. Once the installation is complete, Softaculous shows a confirmation message. WordPress has been installed successfully. It also provides the installation path and the admin URL, which you can click to log into your WordPress dashboard. This means WordPress is now live on our InterServer hosting account. Now you can return to the WordPress management section inside Softaculous. From here, simply click on the admin icon or the login link to directly access your WordPress website's dashboard without entering your credentials again. Now that WordPress is installed, let's log in through the InterServer dashboard. From the DirectAdmin panel, I'm going into Softaculous Apps Installer. Here you can see WordPress listed under the installed applications. I'll click on the admin login button, and this will take me directly into the WordPress admin dashboard without needing to enter my credentials again. Inside the WordPress dashboard, you can see it's a completely fresh installation. Let's quickly check the posts section. There are no uploaded posts here, except for the default sample page and the classic Hello World post. This means we're working with a clean site. Next, in the plugins section, you can see there are no plugins installed. I've kept it clean so that we can test the raw hosting performance of InterServer without any additional optimizations. Now, I'll run a speed test on this fresh WordPress site. This will give us a baseline performance score directly on InterServer's web hosting. Now let's check the real performance of this fresh WordPress installation. I've opened 3 of the most popular speed testing tools: Google PageSpeed Insights, GTmetrix, and Pingdom tools. In each of these, I'll enter the domain URL, testinter.techfin2k.com. Starting with PageSpeed Insights, I'll paste the URL here and run the analysis. This will give us both mobile and desktop performance scores directly from Google's own tool. Next, moving to GTmetrix, I'll enter the same URL and start the test. GTmetrix usually provides detailed results including structure, performance score, and waterfall charts, which are really useful to see how fast the site actually loads. Finally, on Pingdom, I'll run the test as well. Pingdom is great because it gives a simple performance grade, load time, and total page size. This way, we're comparing results from 3 independent tools, so you can get a real-world picture of how InterServer hosting performs with a fresh WordPress install and no plugins or extra content. Here are the results from Google PageSpeed Insights for my fresh WordPress installation on InterServer. On mobile, first Contentful Paint, FCP, came in at just 0.9 seconds. Largest Contentful Paint, LCP, at 1.5 seconds. Total blocking time, TBT, was 0 milliseconds. Cumulative layout shift, CLS, was perfectly stable at 0. And the overall speed index was 3.8 seconds. On desktop, first Contentful Paint was lightning fast at 0.2 seconds. Largest Contentful Paint at only 0.4 seconds. Cumulative layout shift was almost negligible at 0.006. Total blocking time again at 0. and the speed index just 1.8 seconds. These are excellent results. Mobile performance is comfortably within Google's recommended Core Web Vitals thresholds, and desktop is blazing fast with sub-second load times. This shows that InterServer's hosting can deliver a very smooth and responsive WordPress experience, even with no extra optimization. Next, I tested the site on GTmetrix, and the results were really impressive. The site scored a top grade A. Performance, 99%. Structure, 98%. Largest contentful paint, LCP just 788 milliseconds, well under Google's 2.5 second benchmark. Total blocking time, TBT a perfect 0 milliseconds. Cumulative layout shift, CLS 0, meaning the layout is rock solid with no shifting. These are new perfect scores, showing how fast and stable InterServer hosting is right out of the box with a fresh WordPress install. Finally, I ran the test on Pingdom tools. The site achieved a performance grade of 91. Page size, only 97.2 kilobytes. Load time, just 2.08 seconds. Requests, only 11. These numbers are also very good. With a lean page size and minimal requests, the site loads quickly and efficiently. A 91 performance grade is strong, and the sub-3 second load time ensures a smooth experience for most visitors worldwide. Now that WordPress is installed, let's set up a more realistic testing environment. I started by importing 10 demo posts into this WordPress site using the built-in import tool. This gives us some actual content to work with instead of just a sample Hello World page. Next, I installed a few heavy, commonly used plugins, including Elementor, WooCommerce, and Yoast SEO. These are the kinds of plugins most people use on their WordPress sites, but they also add weight to the performance test. Altogether, this process took around 5 minutes, but I've sped it up here so you can see the steps without waiting. With the plugins active and demo content imported, the site is now much closer to what a real website would look like. That means our next speed test will reflect more of a real-world hosting scenario instead of just a blank WordPress install. Now that we've imported 10 demo posts and installed heavy plugins like Elementor, WooCommerce, and Yoast, I reran the same speed test to see how InterServer performs in a real-world scenario. Starting with Pingdom, the performance grade dropped to AB 81. Page size jumped from just 97 kilobytes earlier to 390 kilobytes now. Requests also increased from 11 up to 28, and the load time came in at 2.88 seconds. So, as expected, the added plugins and content increased the page size and requests, which slightly slowed down the performance, but still under 3 seconds, which is good. On PageSpeed Insights for mobile, FCP was 1.4 seconds, LCP at 2.6 seconds, TBT was 0, and CLS remained stable at 0.001. Finally, I tested the site again on GTmetrix with all the plugins and demo content in place. The site scored a solid grade B with an overall performance score of 81%. Structure, still excellent at 99%. Largest contentful paint, LCP 1.9 seconds, which is well within Google's recommended range. Total blocking time, TBT 0 milliseconds. Cumulative layout shift, CLS perfectly stable at 0. So even with heavy plugins and content added, the site remains fast and stable. The performance grade did drop compared to the fresh install, but the results are still very respectable for a real-world WordPress setup. Here's a quick look at InterServer's performance before and after adding plugins and content. On a fresh WordPress install with no plugins, the page was tiny, just 97 kilobytes with 11 requests, loading in 2.08 seconds, and GTmetrix gave it a perfect grade A, 99% performance. After installing heavy plugins like Elementor, WooCommerce, and Yoast, and importing 10 demo posts, the page size increased to 390 kilobytes with 28 requests, and the load time rose slightly to 2.88 seconds. GTmetrix still gave a solid grade B, 81%, while PageSpeed LCP stayed under 3 seconds on both mobile and desktop. So even in a real-world scenario with plugins and content, InterServer remains fast, stable, and reliable for WordPress sites. Alright, That wraps up my full InterServer WordPress hosting test. We went through the entire process, from signing up, using the TECHFIN coupon for just 1 cent the first month, installing WordPress, importing content, adding heavy plugins, and testing real-world performance. Even after adding plugins and demo content, InterServer maintains solid speed, stable metrics, and a strong GTmetrix structure score, proving it's a reliable option for WordPress sites of all sizes. If you want to try it yourself, don't forget to use my TECHFIN coupon code to get your first month for just 1 cent. After that, it's $7 per month. I'll leave the link in the description below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe for more honest hosting reviews, and click the bell icon so you don't miss future speed tests and tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.